Welcome everybody to Business Entertainment. I have a very special guest today. Actually, two. On my last episode, I only had the one, but I have the co-founders of Transformation Spirits, Tara Ogden and Stuart Stein. So we're gonna dig in deep with them, bring you all some value, and see what their stories are, what their perspectives are, and let's dig right into it. So, guys, awesome to be with you all today. I just want to kind of get into what brought you all into making this move and building this company.
Yeah, the joke that wasn't necessarily a joke is that I'm a culinarian for 25 years in the hospitality and culinary business, and Tara has many, many years in marketing and hospitality marketing and in the hospitality business.
Okay.
And my retirement was supposed to be go make some alcohol for a living. But it didn't quite work out for the retirement phase. We got jumped into it a little bit quicker than that. So one thing is that, as we were talking about, is that we've got a lot of years in hospitality, and we came to the distilling industry from a taste and flavor perspective, where a lot of people, distillers, but other people in general, come from a chemistry background or a marketing background. And we really did it from a hospitality and a flavor background to be able to kind of figure out what we wanted. One thing that got us to where we were is partially is her journey from being an artist and a marketing person, and my journey from being in the hospitality. And once we sort of know that this is, I've always wanted to get into the distilling industry. I've owned restaurants and things like that, and alcohol is our passion, drinking and otherwise.
That's a lot of people.
Yes, and I've been on the other side where I've purchased from running restaurants and bars and things like that along the way. But from our side is that if we were going to do this, then I knew that I had to go and learn a lot more about distillation. Yes, I know what it was, and I know fermentations from my culinary background and things, but really get it from the business standpoint of what that is. And then Tara worked a lot with people in this industry and a couple mentors, John and otherwise, to learn the marketing aspect of this.
Yes.
Awesome.
I'm the push, I think. He takes it on the safe side, and I'm the one that just says, let's just jump. Let's just go.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, get after it. That's the only way you're going to figure out if it's working or not,
Exactly. So that's helped in some aspects, and we have a nice balance because he's a little cautious. Hold on, slow down and think about this. Whereas I'm ready to jump. So I will come up with this idea and be ready to jump on it, and he'll write out this big, long idea plan of how we're going to do it. And it kind of just comes right out in the middle level and works well.
Yin and yang. It's a good combo right there. 100%. I like it.
But to get to the journey, like you were talking about,
Yeah, go ahead.
A couple of things that I've run businesses, so I have a business background also. And so for anyone who wants to jump in whatever industry, make sure that you at least you know the business side of it. And I was teaching culinary for a while, and I always tell them that you can be Thomas Keller, the best chef in the world, but you're not going to make any money in this industry if you don't understand how the industry works and how to make money in it. And so, you need that business background thing. And then I went and worked for free and stole as much of the ideas and the knowledge I could from other distillers in the areas I happen to be in.
That's how you do it.
And then I also went and took a myriad of professional distilling classes and worked with some professional distillers in Louisville, Kentucky, knowing that we were going to be starting our own distillery business.
Awesome. I like that.
Industry. I've never done marketing like this before. It really helped getting to know people in the industry. Simple things like OND, we had no idea. October, November, December, just silly things that you won't know without talking with people in the industry.
Exactly. Get multiple perspectives from every angle you can, and then you tackle it from, you take all the best knowledge that you can get and you tackle it from the best angle you can go about it, really. So good. Yeah. I mean, it seems like everything's working out well for you guys so far. And I'm curious, how does your all's marketing work there? Are you guys just pretty much doing like Google AdWords, social content? You're doing a mix of everything, or?
It's a mix of a couple different things. Two things. The business model that we had, which people who may or not know the distilling industry, it has worked for, and a lot of distillers and brands about started the way we are. We are not brick and mortar. We don't own a physical distillery. We contract distill with people, and we go in and make under their licensing our brand on their still, and they're able to go through the whole process. We make it, we age our gin when we need to age it. We proof the gin down. They bottle it for us. We virtually never even have to touch a bottle. It goes into bonded storage, and then our distributors pick it up through that bondage storage.
A lot less overhead too. So
yeah,
a ton. That's been a lifesaver with COVID.
That was
a shakeup.
Oh my gosh, yeah. E-commerce, you're good right now.
We don't have this mortgage payment. I don't have lease payments on equipment. I don't have mortgage payments.
And how many employees do you guys have? I'm not trying to interrupt or anything.
So
Are you just you two?
This is the full-time employee staff.
Yeah.
Right.
And we have a number of commission-only salespeople where we have distribution.
Okay.
Because that's the not weird, but part of the 3-tier system in the alcohol business is we're a manufacturer.
Mm-hmm.
I can't sell directly to you as a consumer. So the Google ad, so some of those retail outlets that she knew about or that you first think about, it's not going for me. I mean, it is. We can push and do that, but we can't sell directly to retail. So
it's a big adjustment there.
Yeah.
It's a really big adjustment.
So part of our market is the distributor. We sell to a distributor, and we've got to get them, because every state and location has a different distributor.
Mm-hmm.
And a different distribution model.
Yes.
Some of them distribute through the whole entire state, some only certain sections. Plus then there's the laws. Each state law is different. So it gets complicated. And actually having the distributor sometimes is kind of nice because they know the laws, they know what we can legally do and how to do it. And
necessary evil. I would love to never have a distributor, but we don't have a choice. And
evil.
then the third tier is the retailer or restaurant and bar. So on premise is the restaurant and bar, off premise is your liquor store. So there's where they buy it, or where the consumer can buy it, or where you're going to go get a drink. And so our ultimate customer is either a bar, a restaurant, a liquor store, or the people who are going to be buying it through those locations. But we can advertise to them, but we can't sell it to them.
Okay.
Push them to find it, kind of thing. So that's where.
But you're still building that brand, so that's good. Like you're still putting it out there, so where people are going to recognize your product. Yes.
Exactly. We have a few. We have one in particular, but there's going to be a second one. We have some online. People can purchase online in certain areas. It's not coming through us, but we can use those social media aspects to push them to Spirit Hub in the Illinois area to buy. So we're doing the advertising, we're doing the social media aspect of it, but it's all about, but go here to buy it.
Okay.
Well, there's a lot of drive. If we can drive them to our website, a lot of our advertisement is driven to our website because everything is listed. So
that's the ultimate goal too. That's where you're going to get all that Google Analytics and everything too, as soon as they hop on that website. For sure. I got you. So we'll take it. Go ahead.
What it boils down to is exactly what you were saying. We do a bunch of social media advertising. So there is Facebook and some Google advertising stuff that we do to really try to get that ROI, because we can see where, if they went to where we needed to push them to, and we not see the ultimate purchase necessarily. But a couple of those online retailers, we get the analytics from them. We know how many bottles people purchased, and did they use the special code that we had on that ad for it or something like that. So we can track some of that.
That's exactly right. Exactly.
Yeah. The other part we can't track is we pushed initially to brand build, and this one,
and we still do.
Thank God, got us into it. Is a number of sponsorships. So she got it. She got us to be the official gin of the Kentucky Derby Festival in Kentucky.
That's big one.
Brand building. Right. I don't know I can know how many bottles I sold to the Derby Festival, but I have no idea how many bottles went to Party Mart sold because we were.
Yeah.
But that's building the brand. So we wanted to concentrate locally in Kentucky initially, and we're distributed throughout Kentucky. But we were building on official gin of the Kentucky Derby Festival. We sponsored the professional soccer league.
Yeah, I saw that. Louisville City Soccer, I saw that.
The minor league baseball team, because they were playing at the same stadium and that. So we were in the stadium. The gin was physically poured in the stadium and things.
Okay. I'm about to get go ahead. Hold on one second. I'm going to interrupt real quick. I'm working on a little deal with the arena football team here in Louisville, Kentucky that's starts this year, but the coronavirus hit and everything. So I'm actually going to get a little bit of ownership into that, and I'm doing some of their media and stuff like that. So if you guys are ever interested in, picking up somebody else.
We were always support locally, think globally, our theory. So we're always wanted to be Kentucky's, Louisville's gin.
For sure.
But we're made for the world.
Absolutely.
And
And so,
Absolutely.
yeah.
where I was
I'm
going
just
with
pushing a soft sell onto you real quick since I've been talking in the works of this deal. So.
his favorite line is, the answer is always yes. We want to pump our money back into the community when it comes to advertising. Now, the level, that depends, but the answer usually is always yes.
There you go. Yeah, yeah.
So
With
it
the
is-
right, yeah.
Exactly.
The
There's a partnership in there some
Yeah.
way. There's a fit.
The
We always
baseball,
find
the baseball stadium, not so much. You don't go to drink a gin and tonic necessarily at 2:00 in the afternoon with your
In
kids.
that
Oh,
heat.
but-
Oh my gosh, no way.
But the professional soccer league, at nighttime, it's a higher money.
Yeah,
crowd.
exactly.
That crowd was fantastic for us. The other interesting part that we fell into that she was very good at the beginning for doing, we brainstormed the name Transformation Spirits.
Oh,
It came from a lot of alchemy and changing nothing into alcohol and fermentations and things,
Mhm.
but it, transforming something into something else. So that's where the transformation initially came from. She was working with the professional soccer league and pouring drinks and schmoozing and doing things. And we already sponsored a lot of pride organizations, but the pride group were coming up to her going, oh my God, with a name like Transformation Spirits, of course we like your gin. Of course we like
Yes.
so happy accident.
Yes.
Yes. Hell
Yes.
yeah.
And
There
so
you
we've been
go.
working on, again, now with COVID and things, but we were working on pride bottles, like, was it Absolute? One
Yep,
of our-
Absolute Vodka does a pride bottle. We
Oh
launched
yeah.
pride and
a lot
things
like
like
that.
that. And so we've been playing with
I
those
like
games,
that.
but that's a pretty good market that seems to
It's huge, ridiculous. I mean, and plus if you put out like the process of doing that bottle and creating that bottle and then you like, boom, here it is. People eat it up, man. That would be nice. I like that. So
Been brainstorming, definitely some interesting ideas. We just haven't settled on anything just yet. So that will
I got
be,
you.
the big reveal will come soon.
There you go.
So the other part from the marketing that you were talking about is that we've gotten, like you said, because we don't need a large full-time staff right now, we have a graphic designer that does our graphic design work that we farm out things to. So we've got the right people. We have a marketing person that Tara works with who's ex-Brown Foreman, who knows the business and knows that kind of thing. I work with some distillers and things like that. And then we bring on, because we don't need salespeople going to a consumer, we need salespeople going to bars and to on-prem or off-premise liquor stores and things that she works with. We've got these commission-only people that we've brought on board.
They
Perfect.
know the community.
And they've worked for other liquor brands along the way, so they know, like she said, the community, and they know the bars and restaurants and places to go. And so that's where we've also put money or force into, is let's get those people who know it to get into it. So we're distributing in Kentucky right now and in Tennessee.
Yeah, I just saw that was a recent one, isn't it?
That we, right before COVID.
Yeah, okay.
We were
Okay.
making great headway. We were in downtown hotels. We were going to be in the Wells in some restaurants, and then COVID hit, and the Hilton went
Bam.
from 120% occupancy to minus 20% of the
Yeah, it's
but
been
yeah.
ugly, man.
Illinois, Kentucky, and Tennessee.
Yeah, we're in the Nashville quarter of Tennessee because Tennessee is broken into quarters.
Okay.
And that's where we're concentrating
Okay.
with those sort of, like we talked about, commission-only salespeople and things like that. At least that's what we were doing. We're starting.
Right.
We're working on getting ramped back up again.
Well, we're
For sure.
we're learning new ways to overcome this hurdle because it is it seems like this is really the way the world is going to be. This is the new world. So we're learning new ways and inventing new ways, just like everybody else out there too.
And it is it's a bad thing, but it's been a good thing for people because people get to take that step back and kind of reevaluate and maybe like adjust to some certain things that they maybe weren't focusing on so much before, or like learn some new crafts that can, enhance,
Oh, absolutely. It's been great for us. And I even kind of look at this, as hard as it has been for everybody, it sure does make you appreciate some of the things you took for granted originally. And there's been a lot of progress, and I like coming up with new ideas. So I've had a blast. There are times when he goes, oh, I don't know, we can try, but I'm not so sure. And then there's somewhere he goes, oh, that sounds great. So it's fun.
Yeah,
It is fun.
the biggest successes that we've had through what's going on with the pandemic have been pushing them to the online sales retailers, or trying to pick up a few other ones that we can legally sell to from our distribution network, like that Illinois distributor or retailer that's been doing fairly well. A couple of the off-premise, the Krogers in Kentucky, we had a deal to get into, and we're finishing getting into those. And then again, the marketing genius over here, We've done online tastings, and what we do at Spirit Hub.
Oh, we did a virtual tasting.
The virtual tastings and virtual distillery tours, even though we don't have a distillery kind of thing. This same thing through our retailers with their Facebook feeds and their YouTubes and their stuff to be able to do this kind of thing to get it out to their clientele.
Okay.
Well, we're in the process of building a YouTube channel. We kind of want to do it from our home bar to yours. So here's simple bartending, because you're not going out, and right now nobody wants to encourage that. We don't want to discourage anyone from going to the bars and hurting their business, but right now that's just not safe. So why not find ways to enjoy it and feel like you're still going out when you may be feeling like you're stuck at home.
Yeah. And like you were saying, it's all about for us is just continually building that brand.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
and that's gonna enhance a lot. Just about bringing. I mean, people love that when you just bring them into your home and you just kind of show them like a little bit of thing. Like, here's a little recipe we're gonna build with our drink. You know, try it at home. Leave us a comment. See if y'all like it. Use this code. You get certain percentage off.
Yep.
Beautiful. Love it. Keep doing it. I like it. Good move.
It's fun, but it's taking a little. I'm used to that hand-to-hand contact right there, face-to-face, and so I'm learning this TV.
It's a good adjustment.
TV, but Zoom is somewhat TV-like to me, so he's used to that, and I'm adjusting, but having fun doing it.
Good. And I do got a question, because what you started with, you said you took the approach from the tasting side. What do you think that does to the consumer on like pushing them towards your product, since you came from that direction and not from everybody else's?
We know what we have tastes really good. We know that we were already gin drinkers. We knew this is a very classic gin with a little bit of a different twist, just a little spice to it that's a little bit different. But we know that when they taste it, they'll love it. Even non-gin drinkers, we get a lot of, I rarely get bad feedback, although I welcome it. If you don't like what I have, I want to know. That way I know I'm getting a good, honest mix. And we get a lot of, wow, that's amazing, even from people who don't like gin, or I'm a gin drinker now, or non-bourbon drinkers with the bourbon barrel. Oh, I can drink that, because bourbon can be kind of heavy for some palates, and we're a nice in between.
So, because our two, for those who don't know, and you and I've talked a little bit, is we formulated a London Dry gin in that Bombay Plymouth style. So not a billion botanicals. It's very clean, traditional clean, but it's got a little bit more going on. And because we were in Kentucky, and because we like what we do, and we like certain bourbons, we aged that London Dry in Kentucky bourbon barrels.
Okay. I like that. Nice
very
twist.
Small period of time.
2 months?
Yeah, literally 2 months in a used, just dumped Four Roses bourbon barrel for right now is our current one. We're using Four Roses bourbon barrels and things. So it's a gin that drinks like a whiskey.
I like that.
Bourbon barrel rested gin to be able to do that.
It really did marry the two flavor-wise really well.
Where did you even think about? Did other people do that, or is that?
It's gin was way back when was a lot of it was originally put into barrels from shipping standpoints and moving it around, but literally in the last 10 or 15 years, Citadel in England started to do one, bring it back again, and then for those who know the whiskey industry, one of the things in the whiskey industry now is taking bourbon or whiskeys and finding other barrels to put them in after they became bourbon. So they were in new oak to make bourbon, and now we're going to put them in sherry casks or bear casks or this to bring out different flavors kind of stuff.
Well, that's
Stay creative.
And so they're taking those whiskey barrels and putting tequila in them or brandies and
it sort of just moved over into the clear spirits a little bit. Where now for us, part of it was that we really like Four Roses bourbon.
Me too.
And we're in Kentucky, so as a marketing person, if you put the word bourbon on anything in Kentucky, you can sell it.
Yeah, 100%.
So bourbon on gin, so to sell it. But we also did it because, like she said, I'm a bourbon drinker. I can drink bourbon rested gin because it still has some of the bourbon flavor components, but ours still is gin. It still tastes like gin.
I'm a bourbon drinker, and I take it from just a different bourbon is more of a winter drink. When I'm cold and I just kind of want to feel that fire because it's so heavy and hot, or right at the end of the night. This one isn't as heavy and hot. It's still light and airy like gin, but still has those bourbon flavors. So I can have an old fashioned, or I call it a bold fashioned since it's our bourbon barrel gin. I can have that in the middle of the afternoon or in the middle of the summer when it's 90 degrees outside and 80% humidity.
An old fashioned
with the bourbon barrel gin.
But to really answer your question, we came from the flavor part of it. I think it's a different mindset. We kind of started with what the end result. We wanted to make this. We wanted a London dry style, clean, not just clean from there's no heads and tails, there's no bad stuff in it, but really clean where you can taste it. There's a lot of gins that, well, two things. The thing in gin now is to make gin into vodka flavors. I've seen strawberry and 25 botanicals in there that you wouldn't know it's juniper anymore. And I'm like, well, that's vodka. That's flavored vodka, not gin anymore, because you can't taste the juniper kind of thing. Okay. And we didn't want that. We experimented with a couple different ones, some new styles of things.
We did do a New American.
Yeah, and we didn't like it, and we're like, we wanted classic, we wanted clean. Copper stills are God's gift because this product is clean as you can possibly be from a state. And then like our style of bourbon barrel, because people are starting to age, like we talked about gins. Like I would love to say we invented that, but no, other people have done that, even in bourbon barrels. But we wanted something that still tasted like gin. And that was a lot of styles out there that we taste. We taste a lot of aged stuff. And you would be hard pressed for some of them to know that it was gin. It tastes like the barrel.
Well,
that's awesome.
When we do it, we taste every week to 2 weeks. So because we plan on it short periods of time, a lot of them will go in so long that it almost qualifies as bourbon. It's just the base spirit wasn't the correct spirit that went in the barrel. And so they do lose that flavor, and they take on a lot more of that wood and oaky, and we maintain both and have married the flavors really well just by tasting. There really isn't a lot of crazy science to it. It's a lot like me in the kitchen. I just want to taste it. If it tastes good, then that's what we're going with.
100%. Keep it simple, Yeah.
If
it's good, try it. Go.
And our joke was it took us about 3 or 4 days of once we knew where we were going, but to sit in front of mini stills to get to big stills, to get to formulas. Let's try these 3, and then we narrow it down. And so the 3 days worth of doing nothing but tasting 100 proof gin that we were making.
It sounds fun.
Yeah, it's like, you got a great job. And we're like, after 3 days, I didn't even.
Y'all are coming up with some crazy recipes. Y'all get into it, you're just like, damn, let's just try. I'm drunk right now.
there was some of that, but then when we were starting to narrow it down, and it was getting just, here's 3, and we changed percentages because we weren't changing what was the botanicals anymore.
Right,
we knew the 6 we wanted, but now it's like, what's the ratios, and do we want spice in there, or do we want extra citrus? It's palate fatigue.
Yeah.
And alcoholism, because literally everything's at 100 proof, so it's standard.
Yeah, we didn't go home and have cocktails. Let's go home and let's just have water. Hey, just
next time, let's take the Uber when we come back.
Yeah, there you go.
Sounds really great in theory, especially when you're young. As you get older and you actually do it in practice, it's a good thing we don't have to do that every day.
I give credit to the whiskey blenders. I know I used to work for Brown-Forman Corporation, and there's the tasters, the master tasters, and whiskey blenders. That's what they do. They take barrels and do that. And I give them a lot of credit because after 3 days of just one thing, I don't know how they do 25 a day sometimes.
Oh my gosh, their body must be pissed at them too.
I did a lot, but yeah, that's still.
Well, and that's we're really drinking it, but so much you can only spit out so much as it runs over your palate constantly.
Yeah, okay, I got you.
It does absorb still.
Okay, is that what you're drinking right now?
Water.
Oh no, God, I'm just kidding.
We're preparing for a little later in the evening.
There you go.
It's always 5 o'clock somewhere, and I know that the other joke is you don't get high on your own supply.
Mm-hmm.
But my gin's cheaper than buying other people's gins.
Oh, 100%. You have to get high on your own supply.
Well, yeah, so we drink a lot of our gin.
We do drink a lot of our own gin, and we can tell
because it's damn good. That's why.
Right. We know what we like, and that's what we like.
Yeah, that's right.
And we know how well it mixes. The last day, actually, as he was talking about the formulation, was kind of fun because we came in and went, I want a Bloody Mary, I want a martini, I want a gin and tonic, I want a Negroni, I want to try all of this. If it goes well in all of this, then we know we nailed it.
Yeah.
And we nailed it. It worked out really well with all of those. So
That's so awesome.
everything, and I like it. It gives us options.
There you go. Man, I love it. I love seeing your all's, the passion just in your all's everything. I love it. I'm excited to see what you all continue to do and keep building with it. So,
and that's
We have
next on
plans
the
in the works.
list is we've already formulated and ready to produce, but with COVID, we kind of backed off. For those who are out there, or Limoncello. So lemon flavored sweetened liqueur. It's Italian in origin.
okay.
It's only 30 ABV, so it's 60 proof.
It's more of a
sweet liqueur, lemon flavored. What would you call it? It's
Oh, it tastes like your grandma's lemon. At least it tastes like my grandma's lemon bars in a bottle. It's just
an alcoholic lemon bar is probably
Yeah.
the best way to explain it. It's dangerous
Oh,
because
my. I was about to say, that's going to be real dangerous.
it's either an aperitif, so you drink it by itself over ice or bubbly things in it, or you drink it at digestif, you drink it at the end of the meal and you digest, or it's an awesome mixer. So if you like lemon
do,
martinis,
yeah.
you take our gin and you take limoncello. It's just a fun little, I have partially culinary, a French and Italian background, so I know about Italy. And last time we were in Italy,
Perfect, yeah.
we tasted every limoncello we could and brought some home. And the problem was we never made it out of Europe. Like we just drank it all in Europe. We just
it
never made it in the suitcase. Just
made
take
it
home.
from Italy to Spain. We got to Spain, and the bottle was open and gone by the end of
Yeah.
the night.
So that's next. That's just ready to be produced. Everything is lined up to do it. It's just a matter of when we want to release that kind of thing. And because of our model, the bad part of our model is I have minimums that we have to produce because I'm using other people's fills and other people's bottling lines and other people's stuff. If we had our own, oh, you want to produce a couple hundred cases? No problem.
Yeah.
Or a couple hundred bottles with labels, fine.
Our minimums, luckily, it is a combined. So if we want to do this percentage of one and a percentage of another and a percentage of another, we still hit our minimums
Yes.
so that we can produce that and can do smaller runs if we want to on some things,
Right.
as long as we're ready to do runs on some of the other stuff in
Exactly.
larger quantities.
But that's ready to be produced. And then in the same vein, a Moro, which is what a Campari is, or an Aperol, it's that mixing bittersweet liqueur.
Okay.
We're formulating one of those. We've been trying to find the correct winery because we want to make vermouth, and sweet and dry vermouths use wine and brandy and other things. And so to find the right partnership to do that with, and botanical. So we've got the botanical part. I got the bittering thing. I need the wine.
Yeah, you got the base. You got the base.
Other
of
part
it.
with, we want to partner with somebody else, not just buy wine where we can buy wine kind of thing.
Right.
Okay.
So all those are on the list. And if you kind of look at all that model, they're all botanical based. We're not doing whiskeys. We love those whiskeys and bourbons, but we're not doing that.
We'll let the experts stick
yeah.
to that. Let them do their job. They do
There
it
you
well.
go.
Very little aging going on, so we can bring stuff to market. That was one reason we like gin, because we can bring it to market very quickly. It doesn't take 2 to 4 years to age a bourbon.
Yes.
And that whole product line that we've been working on, besides from a marketing standpoint, the bottles all look alike and they all
They all will. The colored, there's a sticker that goes on it. That's the only thing that will change. Different color and the wording will be a little bit different depending.
Yeah, you don't want to mix up your brand. I get that 100%.
Yeah.
But all that is literally you can make a huge range of cocktails now because we've got all the components. We make bitters, as in orange bitters and Angostura type bitter type things. We're not bringing those to market, but when we do get brick and mortar, that we'll have a lot more of those in-house to be able to do that kind of stuff. Because it's all the same stuff. It's all the botanical based things that we do.
Once it's all complete, it'll be one sexy bar. Everything will look uniform and look good together and all match. And we will know that the flavors all play really nicely together as well, because that's our standpoint.
I love it. So let's see. What else I was going to ask you off that.
We tend to ramble. We have that passion, as you said.
No,
Yes.
I love it. I completely lost my question though, which is fine. It's okay. But you're going to want to, do you guys, so you said you want to jump to that brick and mortar, what's that, when are you trying to scale that within, so long until what connects with what, and when you're going to make that jump?
We'll know when we know, but right now it's in our 5-year plan. It's making sure that is a big leap, and we also
100%.
want to make sure that we aren't scaling back anything when we do make that leap. We want to keep the partnerships that we have and the sponsorships we have, and keep doing the advertising we're doing. We want to know that we're ready for that. And right now, a tasting room is one of the most important parts of having a distillery for us. And with COVID right now, that's not very feasible. So it's definitely on hold for right now.
We're year 2. We just had our 2-year anniversary of release. So we released
Awesome.
in 2018.
Oh, that's right.
We formed in 17. We did all the formulations and everything through that. We physically released in Kentucky in 2018. As you said, 2020. We just released here in Tennessee. Illinois was 2019. We want to build a few more states in this. The hand-holding states, we like to call them.
Okay.
We can get
You're over here in the Midwest. You're trying to stay here in the Midwest.
to
Okay.
start with. Although our online retailer that we do sell to, they're going to a few other states that we'll be in with them. But the initial goal after that is, and we're looking to build a company. So if anyone wants to talk venture capitalists, we've been working with one, and you want to,
Hit them up.
you need
Get
to own
on
the
it.
whole company. We'll talk about all that. But the money that we do want to bring in from that and everything else was not initially for brick and mortar. It's really for marketing and brand building.
Perfect. That's
Want to
that's
expand
the
in other
step
states.
one.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
exactly. Because other people in other models were like, let's build the brand before the venture capitalist, but then let's get brick and mortar as fast as possible.
Yeah.
And I don't need a still right now. We need.
No, you're killing it with that. I mean, you're doing good.
We need her to do what she does.
And you're saving a shit ton. Like it's.
Oh,
We really, there were a few times when we were getting ready to jump into doing that, and it just worked out really well. When all of this happened, it was like, well, no overhead. We don't have to worry about that. It's a good thing we decided to hold off. And once you build a brand and people know your brand, then they look for your distillery versus just having building out in the middle of nowhere that who knows what this is or who those people are and why are they there. So we want to be the somebody they're looking for.
You don't want, and especially when it goes, if that happens. I mean, I always hear people like, it's all going to go to voice one day. It's all going to go to voice one day. You don't want to be the one where, hey, Alexa, get me a distillery next to so-and-so. Like, no, hey, Alexa, get me Transformation Spirits.
Yes,
That's
exactly.
what you want to do. So what you're doing now is going to build that to that
Absolutely.
category.
Exactly.
I'll have to work on the Alexa skill.
Yeah, she wants to.
We have them through the house. They turn the lights on. They run everything.
My kids just dance next to it. They just dance. That's it. I haven't connected to my whole house or anything like that.
Oh, lights, the Xbox.
Oh, I love that. There you go.
The Xbox is nice because you can tell her to turn on Netflix, and boy, she does. It pops right up.
There you go. You're just making drinks at the bar. Hey, Alexa, play me some music. We're trying to dance right now.
Oh, well, we